Avishek. Welcome to Startup Studio with It All. Here we give budding entrepreneurs like you a chance to present yourself and your big idea. But before we begin today, could you just quickly introduce yourself to us?
I'm Avishek Dutta and I study in class 9. I study in Well and Goldsmith School and I am 15 years old and I like to cook.
All right, which city are you from? Where is this Welland Goldsmith School?
I'm from Kolkata and this Well and Goldsmith School is in Patoli.
Okay, all right. So it's good to have you here, Avishek. So please tell us, what's your big idea?
My big idea is to set up a South Indian restaurant in my locality and I wish to give my customers a very good and delicious food in a cheap way so that they can get the authentic feel of South Indian food restaurants. It will be designed well and the speciality of the restaurant is that the food will be set on a banana leaf.
Okay. So do you want to make like a eco-friendly sort of a restaurant?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That's great, Abhishek. In fact, I love the idea, of a theme-based restaurant, and I would love to hear more about it. Can you describe your big idea in detail in terms of how exactly are you going to execute it?
Yes, it will be a simple restaurant that I'm planning to open in my locality, and I will be serving authentic South Indian food to my customers. And I understand that a running restaurant is not a one man's job, so I will be looking at the matters for hygienes and promotion and management, and while I'm looking at those matters I will be also taking my parents and my relatives to help me. My mother will be taking care of kitchen and cooking part.
So now that you have clarity in terms of roles and responsibilities between you, your relatives, and your mother, let's understand why you chose this particular idea for your startup. So just tell me, why did you pick this particular idea?
So the problem statement I want to solve is that there are no South Indian food restaurants near my home, and the closest restaurant that serves this authentic feel is more than 1 hour's drive away. That's why I wish to start a new restaurant in my locality.
Okay.
Abhishek, what inspired you to solve the problem statement that you just uttered? A lot of times, we don't even have access to such cuisines like the South Indian that you're talking about, and that wasn't there in your neighborhood either. So what inspired basically at the end of the day?
So it's a very interesting story that I would love to tell you, that I used to love having South Indian food made by my grandmother when I was living in Chennai. As a kid, for 10 years, when I finally moved to Kolkata and I started for looking South Indian food restaurants, but I could not find any and I was really upset. But thankfully, I was familiar with a few of my grandmother's recipes and I started cooking for myself. It was then that I asked myself, what about people who do not know how to cook good South Indian food? And that's when I come up with this idea of opening a South Indian food restaurant in my locality.
Okay, that's a pretty interesting childhood story. But Abhishek, I'm not sure whether you have reached the right conclusion here or not. So do you have, or have you done any feasibility study or any customer survey to check, if your neighborhood even needs a South Indian restaurant in the first place? what if there is no demand in the first place, and that's the reason why there are no restaurants either?
In my locality, I have done such a survey, and I have checked that uh, most of the people like to eat South Indian food and like to taste them. That's why I started to open a South Indian restaurant in my locality.
All right, Avishek, I'm glad that you have done your survey. How many people did you ask about their opinions?
I asked 30 people, and most of the 25 people said, "Yeah, I want to taste authentic South Indian food in an authentic South Indian food restaurant where it's a theme based and it gives me a really good feeling of Chennai where people eat South Indian food."
Wow, that's amazing because 25 out of 30 is a good data set to go ahead with. And that's a very important step, Avishek, to do that survey. So well done. I think you already have that validation you needed. Now tell me another very important question, okay, about your competitors. Have you done any analysis? Who are your competitors in Kolkata?
I've said earlier, all the restaurants are at last on an hour's drive far. So I do not have direct competition. However, the restaurants that are far away are Sri Balaji South. It serves delicious food but at a very high price. Students who live on pocket money can't buy those foods items because of high price. Then Apram South Indian food restaurant is where you can rest, talk and have a good view of Bikram Jeet, which is a large water body. Although their prices are affordable, but their food does not taste as well as the South Indian food restaurants taste. The dinner place is in an open area which allows the dust to settle on the tables and all around the food. I find it really unhygienic and unhealthy. Lastly, Gray's restaurant serves delicious food at a little bit less price. However, students from middle class family backgrounds can't afford that much with their pocket money.
Okay, I can see that you're extremely thoughtful, Abhishek. All right. So, how do you plan to differentiate your services? How will you make it cheaper? How will you make it better for them?
Thank you for this question. My first differentiate will be creating an ambience which would make my customers feel closer to the culture. So, we will begin with serving food on banana leaves. We will decorate our restaurants with banana leaves on the entrance and water pouring statues of the Lord Tenaduya. Then usually people from South India eat while sitting on the floor. So we will also have a small section with small tables where people can sit on the carpet and enjoy their food in traditional way. Apart from this, I will also welcome my customers with a refreshing coconut drink.
Okay.
The second differentiate will be that I will be using organically grown vegetables which will not have any chemical or any fertilizer used in it. And I want my customers to enjoy freshness in our food and taste.
Wonderful, Abhishek. I love the idea of you using organically grown vegetables. But more than that, honestly, I simply love the idea of having, small tables where I can sit on the floor and enjoy authentic South Indian food. I think I'll definitely visit your restaurant someday just to experience that simple way of eating.
I'm already loving your differentiators, Abhishek. You've taken care of taste. You have ensured health and hygiene. By your organic stuff. and now you're giving knowledge as well. So it's an amazing amazing thing to do. Uh, but let's get to some serious stuff about business. Have you thought about pricing and other things? What's going to be your approach? Because you did mention that you want to keep it reasonable. So what's your thought on that?
Yeah, every food item will have a different price starting from 150. Some of dishes that I am planning to keep are dosa, idli, vada, upma, pongal, and coconut rice and sambar, which will have a different price and which are very much affordable for a middle class family and who are at a pocket money.
That's reasonable, I must say. So who's going to be your target audience for this kind of pricing? Because you mentioned about pocket money a couple of times when you were talking about competition. So who's going to be your target audience?
All the people in my locality, in my neighborhood, who like to eat South Indian food. Some people who like to experiment with new things or new food like South Indian food or any other foods. I think people who belong to South Indian food and have settled here will also be my potential customers, and they will be also my target audience as I am serving authentic South Indian food which is mostly a vegetarian, and there will be non-vegetarian food also for who like meat and fishes.
Okay. And so how will you create awareness about your restaurant, and how would you in fact reach your target audience in the first place? Have you thought about that?
I am going to reach out my audience by creating a social media presence on various platforms like Instagram and Facebook. I will regularly update pictures of my restaurant's foods and guests. My parents usually take the train to go to their office. They will have many fellow friends who travel with them. So I will ask my parents to give out the posters of my restaurant to their friends.
Okay.
And to the people who are traveling in train.
Absolutely. I think giving out posters and pamphlets in trains, in the local train, would be a good idea, because they're all people who are actually living in your locality, near your place. So absolutely, that's a great idea. So what else? Social media is one. Giving posters is another way of reaching out. Do you think you have any other idea for reaching out your target audience?
Yes. So I will also promote my restaurants during various events. For example, in my neighborhood, we usually organize events on every special occasion like Durga Puja, Republic Day and Independence Day.
Okay.
I will also put up stalls in these events, and I will let people eat my food, and I will give them my posters also, so that if in later they like my food and want to eat my food again, they would visit my restaurant and eat the South Indian food. Apart from this, I will also provide free catering service to my friends on their birthday parties.
Okay, so great. So I do like your idea of organizing, going to these events and putting up your stall. And you know what? The Shera is already here, so Durga Puja and all is already ongoing. So this is a great time to promote your restaurant already. So it's a good time that we're having this discussion. So now I'm coming to my last question for today, Avishek, about startup basics. Yeah. So have you thought of a name or a tagline for your restaurant?
Yes, I have a logo, and name for my restaurant is Food on Leaves, and my tagline is straight from south to north. which means that my food at my restaurant will give my guests or customers the taste of authentic South Indian food while sitting in Kolkata and have a theme-based restaurant.
Wow, I absolutely love the tagline. Straight from south to mouth. I think it's extremely catchy.
I loved it too.
Yeah. So well done, Avishek. It was a pleasure listening to you. You're so passionate about your idea, and I love how you just want to make it extremely authentic and reasonable. Well, this brings us to the end of our discussion for the Startup Studio presentation. And we wish you all the very best. The time is here. I think you should start promoting if you really want to get into this. So for now, we'll wish you good luck and we'll bid you goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah?
Congratulations, Abhishek.
Bye. Have a great
You too.
time.
You too. You too.
Thank you.
Sir.
Yay!